In a rare interview, a witch describes how she's unable to attack Muslims with black magic.
When faced with various religions, it is very difficult to influence Muslims. They are in a constant connection with the egregore.
The witch claims that Muslims are under constant protection from the egregore. This phrase is primarily used in the occult to describe a protective force by a non-physical being. Muslims realize that this egregore is actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She goes on to say that unlike other religious groups, the devotion that Muslims have towards their creator through their daily prayers and adherence to Islam renders her magic useless.
They do namaz every day and read prayers on a daily basis. They are constantly under some kind of a dome, so it is very difficult to influence them. When you start impacting a person, he begins to address in a prayer. Indeed, many of them are very different from those who come to church only when everything is bad in their life. They come to pray and then for 5 years they forget about God, some canons, and so on. Muslims, as a rule, passionately believe and passionately give energy to their egregore, and this egregore protects them very well. That's why it is very difficult to work to make any kind of influence on a true Muslim believer.
Is this some kind of a good egregore?
Well, for them, yes. This egregore is good for adepts who contribute good energy to it.
When the interviewer asks her about her experience trying to curse Muslims, she plainly acknowledges that her magic doesn't work on them.
It disappears. I cannot get a grip on it. I focus on it, but something immediately knocks me out of the flow, just like that. Or I visualize a person in front of me clearly and can affect him even at a mental level, but some image is not created in my mind at all. I even look at a photo, reproduce an image, but it vanishes from my mind. Thus, I can clearly see that a person is covered with something.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects believers who put their faith in Him. When a magician like this witch attempts to attack believers, Allah rewards their faith by shielding them from jinns and demons who aid the magician. What's interesting to note is that the magician being interviewed clearly states that when it comes to people who aren't Muslims, her magic begins to work.
Does this only work with Muslims?
It does for me. Nowadays, there are very few people among Christians who truly believe. Even those who write in their comments that God is in the soul, that they are all faithful believers, but in reality they are not.
The world of magic is disturbing. For magicians to cast spells, they must perform rituals to worship the jinn. In return, the jinn will do the magician's bidding. In essence, this is Satan worship. Muslims know, however, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects against such demonic forces. Reciting Quran, like Surat al-Baqarah, Surat al-Falaq, and other adhkar provide Muslims the best protection. No matter how many depraved rituals a magician performs, he is always at a disadvantage when attacking pious Muslims.